people go out and buy American products as a result of your report, that's a good thing.
I'm thrilled as a human being. And again, with no delusions, no naivety about the global economy. I think that we have so much quality in this country. We have so much opportunity to unite again that if we are buying the piece of furniture that creates 20 jobs down the road, I, as a human being, am thrilled.
And as a journalist.
And as a journalist, it's my obligation to tell you, if you want to do it, you can do it.
What do you make of this alleged plot to kill the Saudi ambassador to the United States?
They say they have the evidence. They say they have the name of the general in the Quds force in Iran, so that this is not something the Iranians, although they will, continue to deny. You can hand them papers, you can hand them tapes, which they probably have, or intel that they probably have. But it's still mysterious, the Saudi ambassador in Washington at the embassy there.
And out of character.
And out of character. And we don't know what's going on there, which is really the trademark of reporting on Iran always. We don't know when and how close they are to a nuclear weapon. We get it wrong over and over again. Both ways. Ahmadinejad, is he in a struggle now with the Ayatollah? And is the Ayatollah behind this, sending him a signal, or is he in a desperation move of some kind to hold on? You know, I've interviewed him several times, and he's a completely mysterious little event in a room. You go in, and he sort of laughs at you a lot. He has many sort of unprompted giggles of various kinds. And the last time I interviewed him, we were in Iran, and he said to me afterwards, "Why are you asking me those tough questions? You should be asking me about romance." And of all the things I expected after our sort of duel, our arm wrestle, that was the last.
Social media, Twitter, Facebook, and I know you tweet because I follow you.
Yes, I do, and I will be tonight on the special again.
Just don't tweet about this. It has made a tremendous impact even now. We look 5-10 years in the future, it's almost unimaginable what this synergy is going to be like. Television, internet, interactive. Can you in any way envision what the path that we might be on and where this could lead?
No, and I love it. We are like Marco Polo, all of us together, finding new ways to talk to each other. I love having an hour on television, good old broadcast television tonight, and having tweets that reach people in a different way, short. I remember seeing a play once years ago, and some man is asked why he only dates young women, and he said because their stories are shorter. And you know what I mean? Sometimes you just want the stories to be shorter, and I feel that we're all finding a rhythm, a new rhythm in which it's like jazz. It's like rock and roll. It's like the beginning of the blues. You learn a new way to talk to each other in a different rhythm that doesn't threaten the world as we know it. It just says you have to try new things all the time. You have to stretch. My husband used to be an improvisational comedy on Broadway. And he always said the only safe thing in an electric situation is take a chance, take a big chance. And that's what I feel we're in right now.
All right, well, let's do something that I'm sure isn't new, but something that I haven't done before, and that is ask you a question or two from some of those tweeters, who,
From the tweets.
who for one ill-conceived reason or another follow
Right.
me. And I asked for
Right.
some questions, and here
Right.
are some of them.
Good.
And some of them are actually quite insightful. Ask her if she feels the weight of her integrity sometimes. Easier to sell out. I trust her and you. It's a responsibility. What would your reaction be to that?
What a wonderful idea, the weight
The weight of
your
integrity.
integrity. I think we all periodically say, integrity, as I understand it, means that you are the same on the outside as you are on the inside. Integrated, one thing, authentic. And that's a wonderful thing. And I think we all feel at times that we have to stop, GPS, and say, am I doing what is authentically, centrally me? In the stories themselves, we are such a team, and again, this hour tonight, countless people worked on it for a year and a half. And we argue, we yell at each other. We say, you're so wrong, I'm gonna prove you wrong. We have a whole argument going on about whether you can farm enough in Pine Ridge going on. So that in that moment, there's great muscle. There's a great wrestling with the truth to make sure we have the truth. But I think in the course of a career, that you have to stop a lot and remember who you were, remember your old best dreams. A friend of mine said a while back, I still have a photographic memory, but I don't have same-day service. And I think sometimes we just have to stop and remember why and what it is that lets you know that this is really where you were born to be.
One final question. And I was asked to give somebody notice that I would have one final question. We've actually gone over a little bit.
Wrap.
And I could sit here, frankly, for hours and watch everybody, well, no, they'd probably sit here for hours too because of your presence. But many people in this room may not know that you were on a short list of those individuals who were possibly deep throat. And as you may or may not know, Ms. Sawyer worked for former President Nixon for some time and the Republican organization and helped Richard Nixon write his memoirs. And when the whole Watergate thing happened, there were some people who thought that Diane Sawyer was on a short list of potential deep throats. And so when Mark Felt announced one morning that no, he was deep throat.
Right.
What was your reaction and how much weight was lifted off your shoulders?
Well, I never really had any weight on my shoulders because I really believes to this day, and I've told him this, that Bob Woodward just let it dangle out there because he just wanted to gig me every now and then, just say, hey, I'm here, because he knew better and he could have shut it down, but it was too much fun. I do remember the day I woke up and the New York Post or the New York Daily News had on the front page cover that someone who knew Nixon had said, I was deep throat, it was done. And I still remember sort of, well, two reactions in the workplace. Everybody under the age of me thought they meant that rather unsavory movie. And I got so much cred, I can't tell you. I was a little reluctant to let that go because people go, man, we don't know everything about you, do you? So that went on for days. And at the same time, it was so random. It's one of those random accusations, and you see it in politics all the time. You can see, I think in some ways, political candidates, when something is close to the truth and they know it, they're on such a curvy road. But when it's just random, you can't react to it. So when I knew it was Mark Feld.
Did you?
I had absolutely knew it.
Because you suspected so, or you had?
Because I had been in the Nixon White House and I was looking at doing the detective work, and I figured it was going to be the person whom the American people knew the least well, so that when he announced it, it would be the least interesting story, because that's one of the reasons, of course, that they got under the radar all that time with the potted plant and the meetings in the parking lot.
And do you think others in the Nixon, not administration, but the Nixon alumni group, if you will, do you think a lot knew that it was Mark
his
Feld?
name was mentioned a lot.
I mean, I knew he was a candidate, but...
And some people stuck to their other contenders, but I always thought that it was probably him. Before we go, can I say one thing? Because Bill was talking about it, and I would just want to say to all of you in this room, this initiative on education, let's report on this together, because I so believe, coming back from the Pine Ridge Reservation, having gone to Finland specifically to see what was working there, you are going to be instrumental in saving American children and education, because it's when they see you, and I've seen teams come in, and sometimes the teams graduate with the student together, and the whole team walks across the graduation stage together. With what you know, the opportunities you give them, the reality you give them about who and what they can be. As Toni Morrison said to me once, the thing a child most wants is to see your eyes light up. And when your eyes light up, it means something for a lifetime. So I congratulate and honor you for this. I think you're going to save a lot of promise in this country. I do.
Every night at the end of our broadcast, I have the honor of saying ABC's World News with Diane Sawyer is next. And it is an opportunity that makes me feel privileged and makes me feel like what we have just done, our broadcast, is worthwhile. And I'm glad to have had the opportunity to have been involved and to hand off our viewers to any effort that includes the name Diane Sawyer is something that makes me feel very confident and very, very honored. And to be able to sit here with you for a half hour today was very special and a real privilege. Thank you so much.
Made my morning.